The question is that the motion is moved by the Premier be agreed to. I call the member for Maitland.
Thank you, Speaker. Resilience, strength, compassion, teamwork, selfless life of service to family, friends, community, Labor Party, leadership, mateship, inspiration and honesty. These are the kind of words and the feelings and the thoughts that Kathy embodied in her life. And when I first met Kathy in this place, actually, in the cafe on level 6, I had no idea that they would be the words that I would come to associate with her. We'd both been campaigning pretty hard to get into this place, and the Central Coast is pretty close to the Hunter, but not close enough during a campaign when you're pretty much focused on your own patch. She wasn't really actually sure when she first got here if she was going to be staying, if she was just going to do the induction and then somebody would find out that she actually wasn't meant to be here at all. But you kind of knew. She was here by the skin of her teeth, but they were holding on. And she had a selflessness and a determination and those twinkling eyes that we've all talked about that just mesmerised you, but really that warmth and that genuine nature shone through. She seemed a little bit overwhelmed at times by the enormity of the place, but only for a moment, and then the determination would come back again. She had a great sense of humour, and I came to know that we shared some other things in common, both having been business women, and we shared that sense of impatience with the glacial pace of change of this place, of the bureaucracy, and of the nation at large. And you've heard so many talking about the things that she worked to achieve on her way into this place and in this place. Like her, I've been often mistaken for a Conservative or a Tory because of my business background, and it was nice to have a sister in suits who was flying under the radar and were a bit of secret agents in enemy territory at times. But that was probably where we shared some commonalities, and I have to remark that there was one thing we were very different on, and I would have to say on this side of the place she is the only member that Madam Speaker has defended in question time, because I do remember with some affection the member for Hornsby making one of those comments that's just not well thought out, relating to Kathy's age when she was speaking, when she was interjecting with some force about the police, and Madam Speaker sat him down pretty quickly in his place, and with the kind of words that, you know, elder women in this place were to be respected. That is completely at odds with my experience of the Speaker, but there we go. Kathy was from the Central Coast. I know that she was a passionate, feisty advocate for a wide range of issues, of social justice causes and cancer treatment, and it is something that's very close to my heart. Having had family members in that space, and she was a woman who spoke her mind, as we heard from David, with no nonsense. She described herself in that inaugural speech as a person who always spoke up for the underdog and who took on the battles of those not able to fight for themselves. And there can be no greater calling than to do that, and to be able to go outside of yourself for someone else. To be that fighter is such a gift, and she had it in spades. That bold idea, the public facility, that rejection of the PPP, all those political issues, but at heart the care and concern, one from hard experience. And I can only imagine that someone, having fought and won against cancer before, how she would have felt going into the experience that she had over the last 12 months or so and of her life. And I remember her being in the chamber and coughing, and she would have known what that meant. But her courage and selflessness is just undeniable and such an inspiration. It's not just what you do in this place, it's the things you do beforehand, and it's the things you do afterwards. And I think even after her time in this place, she has managed to inspire all of us, to bring us together, and that's an important thing. I also have to pay tribute to her work she did when she wasn't well, I took over the shadow ministry for DV just after she got sick. She hadn't really told anyone, so it was this interesting situation where her office, Amy and Jane, I think, were working on it so hard to get that DV to work, and the two Davids. And they really basically shadowed Kathy for that whole period of time, and it was so long before anyone knew that she's had more than a bit of a cough. And that's the stuff around mateship, that's covering the back. And that was the first DV round table. She arranged it with Kate, and then I went into the shadow, and it was the best organised I think we've had of all of them. And it was testament to her particular nature. In my work as New South Wales branch chair of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, we had some fights in this place early on about equity of facilities and things. And it's pretty hard having to go up to people sometimes and get them to fight for things that are right but are a bit uncomfortable to talk to and about. And the Luku was one of those. And I can remember Kathy, you know, I didn't really know her that well at this stage, except she was pretty serious about things. And here I was going to say, we're going to take over the men's toilets, are you in? And she was in, and she was very strong. And she had that ability to just hone your advocacy and be strong and say, you've just got to do it because that's what this fight's about. She wasn't going to withstand nonsense, but she wasn't going to withstand, she was going to stand against inequality. She was a role model for older women in this place. You know, women over a certain age are so often treated in our community as if they have nothing left to give. And she's given some of her most finest moments for the community and this state as an older woman, and that's not something that we celebrate in this place. She is truly an elder and a matriarch of this place, and that is something to be proud of. I just want to express my sincere condolences to Peter and the children. It's just mind-blowing to have to go through this experience and to have to, on top of all of the other things that she had to do as a Member of Parliament, to manage this private space of ill health in a way that was not going to be politically explosive or create a disadvantage, because her commitment and passion to the cause she was fighting for meant that she had to put herself above everyone else. We saw that in the other place with John Kay, and that's why we see sometimes in public life these people, they put themselves to the very brink and don't pull up before they actually lose their lives to their service.
Sorry.
And to some degree that's what Kathy did. Not the result we were hoping for. It's such an understated, such a powerful statement. Not only does it just show that it's really the way she minimised any impact on herself and her work in this state, but I think there's some hope in that for us, because she knew that we were all hoping with her. Her family, her friends, her colleagues on both sides of this house and her community were hoping for another result. And we didn't get that, but we got Kathy for the time she was with us. And that's a really good thing. Raleigh, Kathy.
The question is,